Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to look at the Tornado Pullman Express. Now, I'm not too sure if this is still available. I think Argos were still selling it the last time I looked, which is where we got this one from. It was on sale, so that's the reason we got it. I didn't necessarily want to get a Tornado, but that's why we got it. It was on sale. It was a lot cheaper than it should have been. Great artwork again, shows you everything you get in the box as usual. And we've got Pullmans again. It's not in the usual livery that you would see Tornado in, but Tornado did wear this livery for a short period. It's a bit of an iconic locomotive. I'm sure most of you will know all about it. The most recent steam locomotive to be built. But let's have a look at the set and let's see what you get. Now, I'll warn you, we have had this out, we do use it, so there will be bits missing, but I can't explain what you get. We do use a lot of stuff, but it gets put away to make sure it doesn't get damaged, especially when you haven't got separate boxes. The usual track mat, instruction manual, maintenance manual, warranty, all those sort of things in there. We won't go through it because, well, we've done it before. If you want to have a look, take a look at the Mallard Pullman video and you'll see, but it's just the usual operating and maintenance instructions, how to fit DCC chip if you want to, where you should oil it, all that kind of thing, and troubleshooting. So we'll put that to one side. So you'll get a full oval of track with point and siding. So I think they're third radius curves again. Power straight, and you've got sort of a couple of other straights. You've got a curve there, you've got a point for your siding. There's another buffer here which has been taken out of the packaging, and here you would have the controller with the transformer. There's another extras pack in here similar to the Mallard one. This one's got the brake rigging and things, a couple of vacuum pipes, and these very small things here. I think you'd need to paint them up, but they look like the lamps for the front of the loco. I didn't even realise they were there. So you're getting extras. You don't have to fit them, but you can fit them. You don't have to though. Now we got Pullmans in the Mallard set, so this was another bonus. Plus you get 3 Pullmans in this, 3 coaches. So it's a bit of a larger set than the Mallard one. Admittedly, because this was on sale, we got it cheaper than the Mallard one, but I think it was, yeah, it was definitely, it was on sale when we got it. But let's have a quick look. Now these Pullmans are the same railroad Pullmans as the Mallard one, as in the actual moulding, but they are different. I do believe they've got different names, different car numbers, and there's a rather huge difference to the roof. So this one is car number 3, this is your brake as well. And I don't know if you can see that glaring in your face at the moment, but the coach roofs on this are silver. They're very silver. So when we have used them with the Mallard ones, it does look great having all the Pullmans together, but there is that noticeable difference straight away in the roofs. It doesn't really bother myself or Aidan, but there is that noticeable difference. So if you can live with it, all of a sudden between 2 sets you're going to have 5 Pullmans, which is great. But if you can live with that difference, I'm not entirely sure why Hornby have done the different roofs, painted them that way, but they did. The usual things, same as what we saw in the Mallard set. We've got the big decouplings, we have got some detail at the bottom moulded on. Metal wheels, always a bonus. All the handrails and things are picked out. Unlike the Mallard Pullman ones, the acetate doesn't have the handrails printed onto the windows. I noticed that. But you still have got the tables and chairs and the and the little lamps on the table, so they do look really nice. Again, everything's printed, it's not transfers on here. Now I did notice as well, I might see if I can get the other one out to show you. This is from the Mallard set, this is from the Tornado set. Got different numbers, things like that. However, the printing on this is far more basic for the Pullman emblem and crest, the design, whereas on the Mallard one it's full colour. So I don't know whether it was because it was just the Mallard set, or whether at the time at which this was made, which was before the Mallard set, whether or not they just weren't bothering to print with the colour and things. But there are a couple of noticeable differences. You can see, like I say, about the handrails being picked out on this but not on that. I haven't bought any more recent sets with Pullmans in, so I can't really compare to see if that's where they're moving, giving us even more detail. I suspect they are, because Hornby's doing their very best at the moment to please the general public and bring people more in. But you can see the roofs are exactly the same, just we've got a nice satin cream on here, we've got a very shiny silver on there. It doesn't take away from the model when you're running them together. Yes, you will notice that, but it doesn't take away. I, in real life, have seen Pullmans with very shiny silver roofs, nice satin cream ones that are very dirty from smoke and things, and I've even seen them where they're very dark, grey even. So in real life they're not all identical either. So I'll put that Mallard one back away. But I thought it was a good comparison. So yes, we've got buffers. I noticed we have got some, and I haven't fitted them to these, on eBay for a couple of pounds. You can get these paper folded corridor connectors, and if you just tap them on there with a little bit of, tiny little bit of glue just to hold them on, and you put them on both sides, and when you buffer them up to each other and connect them to coaches together, you get that realistic continuation through the corridor. I've fitted them to the HST and the prototype HST that we've got, and they do look really, really good. So we'll put that one to one side, move the tissue paper. Next Pullman. And here, we have another Pullman. Like I say, non-colour on the printing here for the Pullman crests. This one's Lucille. Now, many years ago, when I was very, very young, I had a Lucille Pullman. That had a silver roof as well, but it also had the silver seal wheels on, which were really big. They were plastic, but metal on the actual wheel itself, but plastic on the axle and things. But they, it didn't look as good as this. In fact, it looked very garish, the Pullman colours. But you can see them on eBay quite a lot, and other auction websites. But you will find them around. But this is Lucille. So we've now got 4 Pullmans so far, all with different car numbers, different names, which is great. You can have a 5-car rake between those 2 sets, which is what we go back to when I was saying in the Mallard video. These are an incredibly quick way and a cheap way of getting rolling stock together and locomotives, and having quite a lot of spare pieces in track. I don't know, I'm not too sure. These hover between the 20 and 30 pound mark, I think. Around about the 20, 25 maybe, for a railroad Pullman coach on its own. Obviously, like I said before in other videos, they don't tend to have the actual name in the box at the centre here, and you can put in your own. But if you work that out, there's 3 Pullmans in here, so you're looking at between 60 and 70 pounds really, just for the coaches, and we haven't even got to the locomotive track and controller. And if you would add it all together, we certainly didn't pay anywhere near that for the set if you were adding it all together. So they are bargains, realistically. You lose a little bit of detail that you would get in other, if you were buying them separately and you were getting the top of the range collector's versions. but these are great, especially if you're starting out. We're not starting out, and I still think they're great. But they're brilliant, and for what you're paying for them, I don't see how you can really argue. But we'll put that one to one side. As I've said in other videos before, with them being the railroad, they just have the standard large D coupling on them. And who we got here? Right, now here we go. I'm going to assume that says Ibis, because I don't want to make a fool of myself. But the coach itself is almost identical to the previous coach. We've just got a different name on it. Shiny roof again, couplings, D couplings, detail at the bottom. So we'll do another double check and we'll put them together and just see. They are the same. You might think, look at them and go, but that one's got that side and that side. But I think, yes, if I turn them around, they are exactly the same coach. So you could put them either way around when they're on the track and have a bit of variation. But I do love these, I do love these. And that is moulded, it's not just printed, that is moulded. That window. And it's great detail, especially for someone who's younger, getting these. I've always loved the way a Pullman looks anyway, especially with the entrance doors and things like that. You know, just standing outside a Pullman, you're looking at quality straight away. How the other half live, that sort of thing. So, let's move on. Now, Mallard had its tender attached to the locomotive, and I don't think that's the case here with Tornado, if I remember rightly. Yep, there we go. So, Tornado's tender is similar but different to Mallard's. Remember, Tornado is the most recent, that I'm aware of, most recent mainline steam locomotive to be manufactured. So, the detail on the top here represents that, because it shows a different way of its manufacture. The coal load on here is full. I don't believe you can remove it either now. However, this coal looks less plasticky than that of the Mallards. This looks far more realistic, although I would still be tempted to put some coal dust on it just to give it a bit more look. Unlike your Flying Scotsman and things, non-corridor tender, but we've got the steps there. We've even got where the lamps are picked out, but they're just not painted. I mean, so you can leave them, or there could be a project for someone if they want to do it. We haven't got sprung buffers. The detail on the wheels is great, all the spokes. We have got a NEM pocket coupling, which you can remove and put a large D coupling on. Like I said, with the Mallard set, I have found, others might not, that these smaller ones are great if they're connecting to smaller couplings, but if they're connecting to the larger D couplings, I've found that it can cause, it can detach from the coach whilst it's going around on the set. It can sometimes cause a derailment if it's not quite connected properly. So I find it easier if you just match the couplings along the set. But there we go, nice early British Railways emblem on there. Nice crisp lining. Like I said, these aren't transfers, these are printed on. And from back when I first started out on model railways and things like that, the quality wasn't that good in comparison to these. So, like I said it in the past, people do slate the railroad stuff, but the quality of what you're getting now is far superior than it used to be. Always depending on the set, of course. I have seen other sets, newer sets, that don't meet that standard, but we'll see. Look at that, isn't it lovely? Look at all of this valve gear and everything, and the motion. Absolutely, it's art itself. See, you never had this kind of fine, intricate work here when I first started with model railways. It was very bulky and cumbersome and things like that, and now it really is very like the prototype itself. Front coupling's already fitted on here, but as before, it can be removed. Yep, can be removed. The front pony truck isn't sprung, but it's got quite some weight. I'm just feeling it there. It feels die cast, it doesn't feel plastic. So that's probably why it's not sprung. It's definitely got some weight behind it. It shouldn't pop off the track at all. Something else I've noticed with Hornby's releases now, the rear pony truck wheels are flangeless. And in the past, the whole pony truck used to move, whereas they seem to have moved away from that on these now, making them flangeless so that they can travel around tighter curves and things like that, I'm assuming. But yes, the brake rigging would come down here again as well. Not too sure whether we'll fit them or not. We might do. We've even got a lamp at the top here. Now those extras, the other lamps, I'm just having a look, the holes are there, so they're to be fitted along the front here if you paint them up first and fit them. So we might do that. We might do a little video where we add some detail and things like that, and maybe pick out the detail in the cab and put in the driver and fireman. Banjo dome, double chimney, separately fitted safety valves, and yes, we've got one whistle here, and I don't know whether it's picked out on here or not, but there is a second whistle, I'm led to believe, on Tornado itself down the front as well, but maybe not. So we've got the roof parts are open already. We've got a glazing at the front, but not at the second window on both of these. It has got some real weight to it, this locomotive. It's loco drive, and as I've said before, the motors in these are far more superior than the old Ringfield tender ones and things like that. And I know a lot of people are putting different motors into those tenders now, CD motors and things like that, with great results if they're fitted correctly. But these really do have some weight to them now. A lot of the older ones, we've got some which are great, they're fine, especially if they've been looked after. They don't have that weight, and sometimes it could cause the motion not to go round and things like that. So, but this is beautiful. It's really fine lining. This isn't a etched nameplate; it's just printed on, but it's really well printed on. I can't fault it. It's a lovely logo. It has got two separate holes here, so you can close couple, I believe, and get it really close together like that. But your curves will need to be they'll have to be an incredibly large radius for it to be happy to go round. So ordinarily you're probably looking at that to give it a happy travel around the track. But we'll move on. We'll move over to the track, we'll get them set up, we'll have a closer look at them and see it going round. So as you can see, I've put the locomotive onto the track along with all of the coaches, and let's just see what it performs like straight out of the box. Well, as you can see, it's a lovely runner. It really looks the part. It's a wonderful train set to buy, reasonably priced, and well, I can't say much more. It's, like I say, 3 Pullmans, a stunning locomotive, all the track, controllers. Thumbs up to you, Hornby. Catch you again soon, and we'll see the train running just a little bit